All right, you're back for another video. This time we're going to do what's called the hybrid method. So again, to recap the last video, we did a subtractive method where we started with a large cube and we cut some parts away from it. The video before that, we did what was called our additive method. We started with a small geometric shape and added some more rectangular prisms to it. This video, we're going to do a hybrid method. We're going to draw the side profile of this object, and then we're going to slice that one section away from it. So I'm going to hit the plus button over here. That'll also let me open up a new design. I think the last video we used File New. So there's a few different ways you can open stuff up. No matter how you start that new file, make sure you're practicing good file management skills and save that file when you first get started to set up your file path. So I'm going to call this one shape number 1 again, and this time we're going to do a hybrid method where we do a little bit of additive, a little bit of subtractive. This is probably going to be your go-to modeling method that you use. Okay. So again, we're going to start off by going create new sketch, and we'll pick a profile. I'm going to switch it up here, and I'm going to create a line instead of a rectangle to get started this time. So I'm going to go to the line tool, and just like the last couple videos, I'm going to start by clicking on the origin. This time you can see I can drag a line out instead of a rectangle. That's why it's called the line tool. But I do have two dialog boxes. I can toggle between them using the tab key. I can set the line length, and I can also set the degree that line extends out at. Right? So I want this line to be 3 inches long. I'm going to hit enter. Right, and then I need to go back to the line tool. I'm going to click on this point. All right, this time I'm going to go up 3 inches. All right, and we're going to just keep dragging out lines. I think I can hit the letter L. Oh, and that highlighted that one for me. So there's your line tool icon. We're going to come over 1 inch. Excuse me. Right, so I'm just going to keep dragging lines out from that last segment. Now I'm coming down 2 inches. And you'll notice I haven't been tabbing over to the degrees. That's because Fusion does what's called snapping, and it'll snap to a 90-degree angle, which is what I want it to be. So I just need to enter the number, and it'll snap over for me. So we got 2 left to draw. Right now, this one, I don't even need to enter in the number 2. I can just kind of hover my mouse over that starting point, and as I draw it up, it'll inference off of my starting point that says, you want to make this one end horizontally right above it and at a 90-degree angle. Right. And then for my last line, I've already got 2 established points, so I can get a box on one. I can snap down here and get my box, and I've got that profile created. And I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here so you can check my dimensions against yours. You can see I've got all round numbers here, and I can tell all these corners meet up at a 90 because it's got this little T-shaped symbol. Those of you that have taken a geometry class, you'll recognize that as the perpendicular symbol. All right, let's go ahead and finish this sketch. I'm going to switch this to kind of an isometric view of my sketch so we can see what's happening. Again, I'm using the roller ball. I'm pushing down on the roller ball to drag this object around. And then I can roll on the roller ball to zoom in. Okay, you could also do that with a stylus by pinching your fingers or pushing and dragging. But I think if you get used to using a mouse, you're going to find that's a lot quicker in Fusion 360. Okay, so let's go to the extrude button. And we want to extrude this to a depth of 3 inches. Right, so we'll go ahead and click OK. And now this should feel pretty familiar. We're going to draw a square and subtract from this. All right, this time I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to draw the square on the top section here so I can show you that inferencing. So again, I'm just going to get my X to show up. That tells me I'm drawing right on top of that existing line. I'm going to drag my cursor down until the X shows up on the far side. And you can see on my screen right now, I've got 1 inch highlighted because it's snapped or it's inferenced off that object below. Right, so I just need to tell this to make my square 1 inch tall. And I can hit enter. And then I'm going to come to the dimension tool. I'm going to click one of these horizontal lines and this bottom edge. And I want to type the number 1 in. All right. And right now I've still got one blue line here. So that means that line isn't fully constrained. We talked a little bit about this in the last video. Okay, so to constrain that line, I'm going to use this collinear constraint to change it from blue to black. That'll tell me it's totally locked into space. What collinear does is it'll take a line and make it lie perfectly on top of another line. So I click my short blue line segment. I'm going to click the edge of the object underneath. And now you can see it changed that line from blue to black. That tells me this drawing is 100% constrained. That shape can't change size or location now. So we're going to finish this sketch. We'll go to extrude and pick our profile. And then just like we did in the last video, we're going to change this to cut. We're going to change distance. Actually, this time we don't want to cut through all, so we're going to keep it at distance. And in my box, I need to think about the direction that arrow is pointing. So it's going up, but I want to cut, so I need to hit -1 for my dimension because I want to drop that extrusion that's cutting down an inch. I don't want it to go up an inch. So I'm going to hit -1. I like what I see on the preview, so I can hit enter. And I will go ahead and save this version. Right. Once you get these three done, I'd like you to call me or call your instructor over your computer so they can check you off on these three shapes, and they will give you some more information on what to do next.